Hi, everybody. This is Jennifer Quick with Soul Clarity Coaching. Welcome back to my videos. This week's video, I'm going to be talking about mindfulness practices and a daily energy boost. So let's go into it. So what this video is going to cover, I'm going to talk about what is mindfulness. I'm going to teach you a little bit about breathing and connecting and living in the moment. I'm going to teach you how to do a body scan. I'm also going to teach you about mindful movement as well as some daily mindful tips. So like my channel, subscribe, like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this video, leave a comment, let me know where you're from, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget, I do readings in the Akashic Records. And if you want help moving forward and building the life that you want to be living, reach out and book a discovery call. They're free. I'd love to chat with you and see how I can help you in moving forward in your life. Anyhow, let's get into this. So mindfulness practice. What does it mean to be mindful? There's a lot of talk around this. Mental health has really dived into this, which is fantastic. It's so much needed. Mindfulness is really about being aware where your mind is. All right. And at the core of mindfulness is really the intention of living in the current moment. So, one of the things that causes a lot of anxiety is anxiety is, here's a good one. Anxiety is caused by living in the future. And depression is caused by living in the past. That is why mindfulness relieves both anxiety and depression because it's about living in the moment. All right. So, what do I mean by all that? When we're living in the future, we're thinking about what our to-do lists are, what is happening next week, the schedule that we have to perform, the things we have to get done. What do I want to create? We're thinking about what we have to do. And we think about where the world is going. We get caught up in politics. We get caught up in world events. We get caught up in community events. We get caught up worrying about what's going to happen to somebody, worrying about what's going to happen to almost anything, the organization, our jobs, or worry. Worry is a big part of the future, right? That's another future element. And all of that, when we're constantly looking at the what ifs, then it can push us into an anxiety because we're trying to live on, it's almost like we're trying to live on multiple timelines, right? When we think about the future, when we're diving into that future. And then depression is looking at the past. And now it's building on what hasn't worked. It's building on what went wrong, what if it happened this way before, it's going to happen that way again. And that can be very depressing, right? We're living in the past. We're reliving old experiences. Now, the way the human mind is developed and the way it actually functions is we are viewing everything through the lens of what we've already experienced. So that in itself can always be pulling us back to repetitive patterns. And when those repetitive patterns, this lens that we're looking through is focused on a negative, then we create negative moving forward. And then we get caught in this depression, anxiety. But knowing that's how we work, we can actually take control of this with a few minor tweaks into our existence, and we can use it to our advantage. So how do we do that? So first of all, I want to talk about the future. There's a time and a place for everything, as they say. And the future, thinking about the future, there's a time to plan. There's a time to use our imagination, our logic, and our communication and all of our activity in thinking about what we want in the future. What do we want to accomplish? What do we need to get done in order for things to happen, right? Now, we don't want to live in the future. We want to live in the present moment. So we want to set aside a time, and this is a lot of people, this is a meditation, this is your daily planning, this is, to-do list, scheduling, all of that is future planning. And there's a time and place for that, but we don't want to be doing it constantly. So set it at the time and place, right? When you go into So when I wake up in the morning, I do my affirmations, I get my physical movement, I start waking up my body, I harmonize my heart. So I set my emotional intention for the day, like I set all that, right? And then at some point, I'm going to go into my office and try to check into my outer world. Once I harmonize my inner world, I check into my outer world. And that's when I will look at my calendar. Oh, what do I have on my agenda for the day? Right. So I use my calendar a lot. And I use a Google Calendar because I have access on my phone, my laptop, my Surface thingy, and my computer. So I have always access to it. And even if I'm out, I can always, if I really needed to, I could pop in and use somebody else's and just sign into my Google account and check it out. Right. So my schedule is where I plan everything. So when I commit to something, it goes into my schedule. I don't have to think about it. It's in my schedule. Right. And every morning I check my schedule and go, oh, yeah, what's going on? Oh, okay, good. And I take a quick look. Future, is there anything I need to be aware of? All right. And this is a funny thing with me in scheduling is I will actually put in my schedule when I need to think about a future thing. So for instance, at the end of this month, I have a event I'm doing with Spirit Essence, with Tara Diana Spirit Essence, and it's a collective group. We're doing like I forget what they're calling it. It's summer solstice or something like that. Again, you can check it out on my Facebook page mostly, but all my social media stuff. But anyhow, so that's at the end of the month. And then and then in June, I have another event. It's a collective group of people coming together, and we're doing a healing retreat, right? Actually, I'm doing a healing retreat in June 23rd. It's a Healing with Horses retreat with a collective group of healers. That's going to be an amazing event. And then in August, I'm doing a Holy Fire Reiki Master Teacher Retreat. I'm doing it as a beautiful retreat up in the Sunshine Valley with Stephanie Brown from Infinite Serenity. We've got this planned out and it's just going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it. And then I'm also working on a retreat to Sedona at the end of September, beginning of October. I haven't confirmed the dates yet. But so I've got these events lined up, for instance. I'm using this as an example. So in my calendar, obviously, I have the actual events, but I've also scheduled in my to-do for it. So I have a notification that came up 4 weeks prior that tells me to start the media campaign. All right. This is when my newsletter, I need to make sure it's in that newsletter. I need to make sure there's a few posts and everything else. I actually set that into my monthly planning schedule. So when I schedule what I'm going to be doing for that month, one of the things is so 2 months in advance, I'm planning what I'm going to be doing. And the month in advance, I'm actually doing the marketing for it. So, and I put up reminders to myself, okay, this is what's going on now. This is where my focus is. And then come, the end of May, beginning of June, my focus is going to be really put on that all the details for the healing heart. And so I'm going to have to I schedule into my calendar that a date that says, I think it's usually like a Monday morning to be like, okay, time to look at, is everything in order for this? And I'll keep putting comments into that schedule as they come up when I need to deal with it. Okay. And so I have all these things scheduled. Not only do I have the event scheduled, but I have what I need to do for that event scheduled and planned. So I get up in the morning and I kind of scan through what's coming out down the pike, blah, 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 and I back through it. And then what is today? Right. That's what I do when I check in. And then I check my emails and I carry on and I do and then I sit there and I go, okay, what do I need to accomplish today? Boom, boom, boom. Here's what I need to accomplish, my task. Boom. There it is. There's my day. And then I'm done. I've done my planning. Okay. So I've done my future. Then I move into my present moment and I do this moment and I live in this moment. As I'm shooting this video, I am not thinking about future videos. I'm not thinking about past videos. I've already planned it. I've already done it. I did that as part of my marketing planner, right? It's all laid out. I don't have to think about it. I just have to think about this video. And so I'm in the moment doing this video. I'm talking about mindfulness. I'm not thinking about my client this afternoon. I'm not thinking about my appointments tomorrow, next week, or anything else. I'm not talking about those. I'm not thinking about the retreats and anything other than mentioning them here, like in the example. But I'm talking about mindfulness. I'm right now, right here, having this conversation with you. I'm not planning anything in the future because I did that this morning already. All right. So I'm in the present moment. I'm also not talking about the past because the past has nothing to do with this moment. And now this is a real interesting thing, and this is we got to watch. If I am thinking about the past, then I am worried about who is going to see this, because in the past, my videos might not have done very well. Or past experience, I have trouble getting to the editing. So I'm going to be worrying about getting it. Maybe this video might end up going nowhere. I might do nothing with it. Like, oh, or maybe I'm thinking about a bad comment I've gotten on another video, where I'm like, oh, God, people don't like what I'm doing. I'm living in the past. That's not the reality. Nobody's seen this video. They have no idea whether this video is any good and how well it's going to do for viewership. Right? I have no clue, because this video is all on its own. Right? So whatever past experience really doesn't pertain to me shooting this video right now. So I'm not living in the past. If I was living in the past, this video wouldn't come off very well, I can tell you that, because I would be concerned about that, and I'd be distracted more by it, and I would be less confident in it. And it would really alter probably how I'm actually talking and what I plan to say and all of that. So, and I would, anyhow, you get the point. I'd be living in the past, and I'm not living there. I'm living right now in this moment. And it's all about this moment. I'm not worried about what I did this morning, yesterday, last week. I'm not worried about a conversation I had with anybody else. I could. I've released videos and gotten all sorts of interesting conversations from people online and offline, right? I could be worried about those, but I'm not. I'm actually finding it distracting talking about that at the moment. But anyhow, back into this moment right now. But I'm right here, right now. I'm just there. And it's interesting. It's in the mindful moment, when you simply are in this present moment. That's when you really open up to channeling and talking with spirit and hearing your higher self, hearing your spirit guides, and connecting with yourself. It's in that mindful moment that we connect with our heart. It's in that mindful moment that we connect with the planet and we align our system. And really, if we're in awareness, when our awareness is in this moment, that is when we have the greatest power over what we are creating. We are always creating our circumstances. Okay. And if we are living in the past, then we're creating circumstances to repeat the past. If we're living in the future, then we're scattered into what might be. But if we're living in the moment, then we are creating and living an awareness of this, what we are creating. And we can consciously choose what to create because we're in that moment. Okay. Hopefully that made some sense. So how do we do mindfulness? So mindfulness, the first thing this is going into that heart-brain coherence as well. But mindfulness there's a couple different techniques. When I've done some mental health courses and stuff like that, they use things like fidget gadgets to help us bring our mind and concentrate on the fidget, right? Those little fidget things. That's where stones in your pocket, if you can have a stone or a chestnut or whatever in your pocket, will help keep you in the moment. These can be behavior patterns like this, can bring us into the moment. Okay. This actually is also very stimulating for the brain, but it calms the brain. There's also cross body, doing those type of things, awareness. Those are, and also eating. When we focus on our eating, it can bring us into a mindful moment. But I don't like any of those. Like, those are all great, but they're not things I like to really focus on. They can be great tips in a high stress situation. Tapping on our body can bring us into our physical awareness of our body. That can very much help bringing us down out of anxiety. Actually, tapping into our body, just a light tap, right, will help bring us into our body and out of anxiety. All right. Motion and being aware of where we're moving can help lift a depression. Right. Again, nature is really good for depression. It's good for both, actually. So anyhow, what it all boils down to is our breath. That's really what it boils down to, our breath and where our awareness is. And we have a choice over that. So when we breathe, you want to sit up as comfortably as you can, and you want to breathe deep into your lungs, because when we breathe deep into our lungs, we are telling our physical body that we're safe. When we breathe short, we are putting ourselves into a place of anxiety. It's actually moving us into the fight or flight. It's moving us into the stress. All right. When we breathe deep, think about it. If you are in the wild and you're running for your life, you're not breathing deeply. You're in action motion and you're breathing fast, right? You're breathing very fast. But if you are in a very safe place and you're resting and you're calming, that's when you have the time to breathe deep and slow and controlled. And so you have to be in a safe place in order to breathe that way. So therefore, in order to be you have to be in a safe place in order to breathe deep. By the same token, if you breathe deep, you tell yourself you're in a safe place. And so it calms your system down. Hope I got that explained very well. Anyhow, breathing deep tells our whole system to calm down, and it calms our nervous system down. All right. So big deep breath. And you want to pull it down into your lower abdomen, which is using all of our lungs. All right. Ideally, you want to breathe out longer than you breathe in. And again, it's a biology factor that calms the system down. And if you can pause at the exhale and before you exhale and before you inhale again, just a pause. Again, it helps bring your body into a calm, focused state. All right. So that's the first thing, is breathing that way. Now, as you're breathing, bring your awareness and focus on nothing else except your breathing and your heart, your physical body. Move into your physical body. So the first step is to really focus on your breathing. And then as your system starts to calm down and your breathing will follow into a natural, more rhythmic pattern of that breathing in, breathe, exhale, longer, pause between them, that thing, that will come automatically. Once that becomes an automatic and you relax into it and you feel your body relaxing, then you want to focus on your heart. And you can put your hand right on your heart, fingertips on your chest, hand right over the top of your heart, doesn't matter. But putting your hand here or your fingertips here and focusing your mind down to that location as you continue to breathe. Feel the rise and fall of your body. You're focusing in onto your body right now and you're feeling your heart. All right. And you want to be aware of the heartbeat. And you're noticing that. And you can spread that out to the whole body, where you start becoming aware of the rise and fall of your diaphragm. You can become aware of the softening of your spine, the loosening of your hips, the relaxation of your legs, the feel of your feet on the ground. Feel the energy flowing down from your brain, right? This tension release. Feel the muscles in the back of your head relax. Feel the muscles in your jaw relax. Become aware. Scan your body for where there's tension. And where you find tension, you want to increase the tension and then let it go. And this act of tightening and then releasing, it actually releases more stress than just saying release the stress, right? The tension. It's just like when you're breathing in, after a few breaths, if you take an extra deep breath, it will actually reset your system. So that's a body scan. Scan through your body. Close your eyes, because when you close your eyes, you move inwards. And you scan your entire body and feel where the tension is. Wiggle the toes. Clench up and move those tension spots. Rotate them. Be aware of how your body moves. Really connect with the body in this moment. Let go of everything around you. Now, once you've really connected through your body and you're relaxed and you're done doing the body scan, all right, then you can take it to another level. And that is where you move into the moment of silence, or the void is what we like to call it. The void is my favorite, because it's the place where all potential is possible. So you've got your breathing under control. You've gone and connected with your heart. You've connected with your whole body. Now, actually, I'm going to put another step in here. Choose an emotion to feel. Okay. And you can think of anything that makes you feel love, joy, appreciation, or gratitude. Anything that makes you feel that way. Okay. Think of that. Think of anything. Don't get into story. It doesn't matter when it happened. Doesn't matter if it's a future event. Doesn't matter if it's a current event. Doesn't matter if it's a past event. Doesn't matter if it's 50 years ago or 5 minutes ago. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's a who, place, or what or thing. Doesn't matter. All that matters is that it creates the emotion of um, love, joy, gratitude, and appreciation. Any one of those. Doesn't have to be all of them, just one of them. Okay. Feel that. Think of that and feel it in your heart. Feel that emotion. Really expand that emotion. Let that emotion fill your heart and just grow stronger and stronger, and just whatever you need to think in order to increase that memory, but feel into the emotion. Put your awareness into the emotion. Nurture the emotion, increase the emotion. With every breath it expands. Let that emotion take over and spread throughout your entire body. Let that emotion be running through your veins. Imagine it running through your circulatory system. Feel that emotion so that it becomes so much a part of you. Let it expand and become the aura that's around you. Let it fill the room that you are in. Let it fill beyond the room that you are in. Okay? And now, as you're in that emotion, drop into the void of nothing. No thought. Just feel. In that void is every potential. Everything is possible in that void, and yet nothing exists. You are simply in that moment. That is truly the present moment. That is the very precise present moment. Now, when you do that, so that's an exercise that you can do. And when you do that, it has a lasting effect as you walk through the rest of your day. Everything you do after that is going to be coming from this centered, balanced, mindful place. So now, as you stay in that state, so as you go into motion, as you get up from wherever you're sitting, and you keep that place, stay as much into that void, stillness, and that emotion that you can. So you become the emotion within that void, still space. Okay. And now you get up. And when you drink your coffee, be aware of the coffee from that space. Feel the cup in your hand as it is right now. Be aware of it. Be conscious of it. Feel it. See it. Acknowledge it. I get it. Yeah. Awareness. I feel the desk. I feel this pen. Right? I'm consciously in the moment. What does my body want right now? Wants food. What kind of food? In this moment, it wants something healthy and nutritious for it. Connect with your food. Feel your food. Observe your food. Hold your food. Be aware of your food. Look at it. Be mindful of it. What does it look like? What's the texture of it? What's the experience of it? How does it make your body feel? That's mindfulness. Mindfulness is really being in this hyper aware state of observation. That's the key point of mindfulness. The more we step into observation, the more we increase our awareness. And then we can make decisions with full information. And we can take action from that point. We can make choices, which are actions from that point. Okay, I went deep into that one. Now, what did I want to just say about that? Oh, I wanted to go back into, so that's how you get into mindfulness moment. The only thing I wanted to, now that's how I know, I'm just going to look at my notes here. Okay, so I did the body scan. That's the mindful moment. Now I also want to talk about being in a mindful moment. Go and do your exercises from that space. So before you do any kind of exercise, move into that mindful space and connect with your environment, connect with your body, and now go through the motions. So whether this be doing yoga, Qigong. This is actually at the key point of Qigong, Tai Chi, things like that. That's how you really get into connection with it. But it'll also make you a better runner. It'll make you a better football player, hockey player. It'll make you, mountain biking. That was one of the things I would do, is connect with the environment, be in that moment. And the more aware you are in the moment, the better you are at the skill, and the more your skill develops with you. So really be mindful of how, break it down, right? And that's one of the things I learned, actually. I'll talk a little bit about this. So many years ago, like I'm probably about 30 years ago now, close to it, I took a course on in Tai Chi and Qigong. I took a few courses in it for a while, practiced it for a while. I still keep it in my life and a lot of the principles, and I actually keep intending to go back to it, but I haven't gotten there yet. But anyhow, I did it back then. And one of the key points I really loved about it is the entire system was based. And you've probably seen Tai Chi and Qigong, and they're moving so slowly, like slowly move the ball of energy, right? And I teach this in a lot of my Reiki classes as well. When we hold our ball and we play with it, we want to move slowly because we want to really be in awareness of it. It's the same as when you're doing Qigong or anything else. You actually are very present in the moment, and you're moving everything in slow motion. And the reason why they practice in slow motion is because their intention is to be mindful in the moment and to feel the energy movement. And the more you slow things down and practice being mindful in the moment and moving slowly through a pattern, the more it will become an instinctual response. Okay, so the more present you are, the more instinctual it becomes. So think about all the possibilities of that. You become more skillful, more precise, more focused, more instinctual in the results. So, yeah. So anyhow, I wanted to talk about it. And that is the end of this video on mindfulness. I hope you got some really good tips out of it. I hope you practice mindfulness. If you want a little help with that, I've got a couple meditation videos on my YouTube channel, but really the best place, because I know it has one of the best meditations I've ever done, called the AM/PM, and it's in the Empathy Overwhelm program, which is free on my website. So go and check that out. There's also the Compassionate Heart. I can't remember what I've got it called right now. I think it's called the Compassionate Heart program. It's on it'll be on my website. Check out that. And if you see me offering it, which I'm going to start offering it again, please come and join me, because I dive into this technique and build on it even further from there. So anyhow, love you all. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it, subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you and what your thoughts were. And remember, the work I do is I do a lot of work in the Akashic Records, but I'm also a life coach, and I'm all about living here. I read your soul matrix, which is all your different energy levels at different frequencies, and how they work together to enhance your human experience. So I combine those two. And I also do a lot of healing work. I've trained in a lot of different modalities. So yeah, if you want some help on furthering along in your soul's journey, reach out, book a discovery session. You can go to my website and book a discovery session. They are free. I'll sit down and chat with you. And if I can help you, I'll let you know how. And if I can't, I'll try and refer you to somebody who can, and give you some guidance in moving forward. All for free. So there you go. Check out my website. You'll find me at jenniferquick.com, or you'll find me at soulclarity.ca, as I am Canadian. And again, like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you very much for joining me. Bye-bye.